So today I tell you, marketplace vessel, if you do not like the results you're getting, then seek for knowledge. Contend for the faith. That first job I was talking about that I eventually got, I got it after the battle was over. I'd written tons and tons of applications. None was being considered. Hi everyone, it's Phoebe again. Today I'd like to talk about, a very dark moment of my life that I experienced some challenges and eventually came from my family. Giving my life to Jesus at the age of 10, 11, I'd always known that I was seated with Christ in the heavenly places, far above principalities and powers. I'd read Papa Hagin's book since I was in my teens, and I believed them with all my heart. But one thing I didn't give myself to was prayers. Long period of prayers. I remember getting married, and I had issues with one of my family members. And I had a mother-in-law that was a prayer warrior. So marrying into that family gave me some form of confidence that, no matter what happens, Mama can pray and she'll pray us out of it. Instead of me to do the praying myself and to follow it. I shared in the previous, stories of how I was delayed for about 2 years and didn't have a job. It was later I realized that delay, even though God used it to build me, was orchestrated from the kingdom of darkness. I got married when I was 7, and then the issues started. My husband went through a series of losses in his business and workplace. We barely managed to eat. And it was years down the line before I knew that it was actually orchestrated. But how did we go through this period? We kept praying, we kept fasting, but I didn't really understand that wickedness could be real. God has blessed us with all spiritual blessings in the heavenly places. And so when I was going through that period of my life, it was really tough. I also shared that experience of how I lost a baby at 32 weeks. It was as if God had turned his back against my family. I had no job. My husband had lost his job, a thriving business, but it drove us to go deeper with God. And so I kept praying. I kept seeking God. So today I tell you, marketplace vessel, if you do not like the results you're getting, then seek for knowledge. Contend for the faith. That first job I was talking about that I eventually got, I got it after the battle was over. I'd written tons and tons of applications. None was being considered. But immediately I resolved this spiritual matter. Now, I did not understand that there was a family relative that was anointed at that day of my wedding. And then she had shot some arrows. And so everything we were doing was not just working. I was born again. I was spirit-filled. But then we started praying, drove deeper. And so my encouragement for you today is that if you don't like the results, seek knowledge. Contend with the faith that was delivered to us. You read the scriptures. Do you carry it? Do you speak it? Do you meditate, mutter it to yourself? Do you insist in the place of prayer that this is my reality? Or you just in your mind, mental assent, believe that this is what the scripture says about me and then I would have it. No, dear child of God, it doesn't work that way. I lost a baby. I almost lost my life. I told you that. I didn't have a job for years. But guess what? Immediately I resolved that matter. And the person died. I got a job. Was that a coincidence? Oh no. Oh no. But God had taken that period to build me. And so when I had that first issue I had in my workplace, I was already grounded. I could face whatever the enemy was coming at me with. I could face it and I could, deal with it. What is your testimony? What are those things you're looking at in the Word? What is the light being shed in your heart when you read the scriptures? Peter said, that which our eyes have seen, that which we have tasted, that which our hands have handled of this word of life. Can you say you have handled it? My dear viewers, I handled that word of life. I handled it when the issues of life came at me and there was nowhere to run to. But when we kept at it, praying, studying the word,